Alright, everyone. Welcome back to Grand Order. I'm just gonna take us straight in there. You know what we're here for. We're here. Kick the ass of Qin Shi Huang, ruler of Lostbelt 3. Oh, we finally have a use for a Lancer. The first node we'll need Lancers for. How is Ereshkigal in terms of damage stats? So Ku is like 9,600, Eresh at level 69 is 10,000. She actually hits harder than him and she's AoE. I don't know what we're facing here. I don't think it's a servant. Yeah, that's fine. We can cancel. Ugh, I'm AP capped, so I hate doing this. I'm gonna check how much AP I have kicking around, or how much XP I have kicking around. As I'd like to get a little bit further on Eresh. Ew, we don't have a lot for Eresh. That might not even be enough to get her a level. Ouch. What do we have in terms of XP that's just floating around? Some useless Rider Embers that are 2-star. We can maybe throw at Eresh. I don't really like doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's not like we need the Embers all that much anyway. We can get like half a level out of these or something. Like, 2 Embers are pretty useless, so I'm okay with just throwing them away. I'd like her to be 3rd Ascension. As if she can be 3rd Ascension. There we go. We need all these? We do, okay. If she can be 3rd Ascension, then she'll at least have access to all 3 abilities. Alright. I'm gonna ascend you right away. We finally have a use for a Lancer. I'd like a farming Lancer, so I'm just gonna put her there. I've already put a few points into her skills. Let's see what her Ascension line is. Okay, this is her second line. This is the 70-80 Ascension. Second last. It's a hella cute outfit. That is a good looking dress. I could see literally anyone wearing that dress and they'd look good in it. That's her 3rd skin, right? Obviously this is the classic. That one's so tempting. But this one looks classy. Yeah, we'll leave it here for now. Ugh, I hate being low on XP. We have not a lot to give her in terms of XP. If we want to actually use her. Oh yeah, consecutive login. And tickets. That is a lot of Saint Quartz, you know? That's a lot of Saint Quartz, actually. Like 35 Saint Quartz. Like, that's like 40 Saint Quartz. Oh, I might cash in those embers. I might cash in those embers. Fuck it, we're gonna cash in some of these. This isn't enough to max her out, but if we need Quetz leveled, the embers we get from the lottery will be enough. And one of these is attack foes. I think those ones are. We got, like, if we're actually gonna need to use Lancers, let's bring a decent AoE Lancer instead of struggling by with Ku. We'll start with foes. Get rid of the Rider stuff. Did I totally screw that up? Lancer. Just do this. Ah, I screwed up. Those are health foes, aren't they? Really? Let's just look first. Attack foes. We don't have any silver attack foes. That's annoying. Okay, let's go back. Grab the attack foes. They're the ones where foe is looking up this time. Looking up, foe. Oh! We have no attack foes. That's kind of annoying. In any case, attack foes for Ereshkigal. At the very least, she should get the attack foes maxed out. We have any Lancer ones would be at the top. I don't see any Lancer foes that are attack oriented, so we're gonna just roll with this. There's 600 attack. Her attack looks less. Her attack stat looks less terrible. And XP. I was kind of trying to hold these in reserve, but there actually are Lancers. There actually are archers to fight, so no reason to run anyone terrible, right? It's a cute surface world outfit, Ereshkigal. You made the right call. We've already heard that line, so I'm just gonna skip it from now on. Usually I think it's fair to show everyone it at least once, right? You never know if they haven't heard it before. This is gonna be most of our embers, getting her just to 80. Go. No super successes, no nothing. Unfortunate. Those are easy to spend. We're on a node where we actually need a Lancers, so I'd like a good one. You know, that's kind of a cute final ascension, right? Resh wants to be the one protecting me. That's cute. And then we have like 14 embers left. Yeah, okay. We might be able to pull off one level. I'm just gonna make sure our if we have any extra pieces and gems, we're gonna throw them at Resh. Am I gonna have enough QP? I don't have enough QP to put that to 10, so there's not a huge reason to put it to 9. Alas, we are in QP hell. Thanks, Aresh. Secret of the Great Crown is, I believe, her worst skill and least important, but we can at least put a few points into it. Like 4 is like the bare minimum for any servant. We can probably afford the chains and this. Yeah, we're gonna be cripplingly low on chains at the end of this, though. I think there's someone I have who wants chains. Archer? Yeah. And we're also waiting on QP for this guy. QP and feathers, which we actually have an okay amount of feathers now. So I'm gonna actually hold off on that one. Eresh is mostly there. She's almost at 50. If I could have put her middle skill to max, I would have, but I didn't have enough QP. Okay, red hair. I think this is one of our farming setups. We actually want... I guess that's like our boss fight setup. We'll do this. Yeah, whatever. We can do this one. Mash is already here. We have the story support because we always take our story supports. I'd prefer Eresh Gigal to Nazah. I don't know who I want to stick in the back. Eresh Gigal's a buster turn. We unfortunately can't instantly NP, but I'm also expecting we're gonna have to fight multiple waves. And with Mash and red hair here, it's not like we can 3-turn this. Alright. So we just use Eresh Gigal to clear stuff up. I'm not expecting a boss. I'm also not expecting to need a taunt particularly, so I'm going to take Ku in place of this guy. And we're going to give him probably the 25% quick CE, if I can find it. There we go, imaginary round. We probably don't need Hokusai here either, so if I'm going to give someone random bond points, it's going to be Gilgamesh. And even though, you know, this would give us way more bond points, we're going to take this because the amount of times we've randomly screwed up and gotten ourselves almost killed is unreal. So I'm not going to give anyone garbage CEs in this story. Alright, we have like a couple defensives. We have a couple defensives up. I'd like something like to fill in the missing 4% for Eresh's NP. Like, say, a Babylonia Mystic Code would be great here, but I want something that's defensive in the event we randomly, like, have to NP from a servant or something. You know how it is, right? Like, you never know, we might randomly have to fight Chen Gong here. It would suck, but it's possible. He was bewildered. 2,000 years since his activation. Every ounce of his being to fulfilling the duties given to him. Maybe a couple were difficult. Even dangerous. They always I assume this is talking about Qin Shi Huang, right? There's never any doubt about why he was made or what he must... I mean, he made himself, right? Right? Oh, it's Zhang Yu. Alright. An immortal Shenren. Immortal Shenren just wants to hang out with you for the rest of eternity. 2,000 years of nothing but that. Surely you're smart enough to figure out what you were doing given a different scenario. He's a brilliant tactician and can basically see the future in a limited way. First mechanical man in Shi Huang ever made by recreating Shang Dynasty Baobei. Yep, predictive calculation. Observing and analyzing every iota of data. Okay. Predict cause and effect. See into the future. Alright. You were left to fend for yourself in a chaotic world under the name Shang Yu. Alright. Use your abilities to bring about peace as designed. Yeah, what do you do when the Emperor's successor's gone? Alright. Find someone who's suitable to lead. Yeah. Lead in his stead. Then you have to participate in this conflict, right? If you're gonna keep this king alive till they can rule, you enter the fray yourself. Yep. Yu becomes a box to contain all your threatens of peace. Okay. The rival to the person he's trying to make king. Make yourself the rival. Alright. Such a situation would be beyond hopeless. How do we fix this? Imagine. Oh, he's a robot. An imagining robot. That's pretty cool. So he races region after region. Everyone left alive swore fealty to the king. Yep. China United. The sole goal of opposing you. Alright. More is more. Behold its vicious facade, behind which lies a mountain of otherworldly technologies designed explicitly for violence. Indeed, an awesome, terrifying sight. Alright. Thermic ray blasters, humming grenade launchers, 1500 horsepower gas turbine engine. Alright. So they've made their own version of the Shadow Border. But theirs looks kinda dumb because it's like tiger themed. Their manufacturing capabilities are pretty impressive. And have automated factories. He hasn't said anything, he just said he's gonna do things. Yeah, what's wrong with cavalry? You don't like robots? Gordolf. Yeah, a starving Gordolf. Oh, they just don't have a muffler. Probably don't care about noise pollution or stealth because they're using overwhelming force. That tiger head looks absolutely stupid. Poorly designed, yeah. Seems like an inefficient design, but alright. Seems like a credible copy. Is the tiger the cannon? Do that thing. Do something about that thing for Da Vinci's peace of mind and our safety, though not necessarily in that order, of course. This is where we fight the armored tanks, their tank division. Alright, this will probably be like 1 or 2. I'm thinking not many, and then we fight a whole squad of them, and they're like, how are they making them so much? Oh no, they can manufacture them. And which I say, that was kind of obvious. Like, I would just assume they could do that. How else do they get their robots out, right? The silly music is kind of... That has a lot of health, what the heck? And it's... Oh, we're up to 4 turns, damn. We're getting, like, really close to never using these things. Alright. We actually need more NP before we can do anything, so... Alright. I guess in... I actually want Mash's NP more than I want anyone else's. Oh, he's taking bonus damage. Not a lot, though. It has a flamethrower mounted on front, really. Alright. A cannon's being fixed mounting, having fixed mountings, the sponsons. Not the best idea I've ever seen. Is this enough to NP at skill rank 8? I don't actually know if she gets enough. Well, we're gonna see a bunch of Oreshkigal cards. In fact, 4 of them next turn. So we'll use Oreshkigal's abilities then. Okay, surely we've charged up enough, right? We can't give ourselves any more damage ups, but we don't really need them because we're just gonna go... We're gonna remind people why red is our favorite color. I'm gonna be honest, I kinda like blue better, but... Red is Ishtar's favorite color now. Or not. Oreshkigal. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me, Oreshkigal. Yeah, I meant Oreshkigal. Ishtar also likes red. But you're Oreshkigal, for sure. And I didn't see any. No Hassan, no Nidochris. That's doing a lot of damage, mostly because it's taking bonus damage. Now we know what to expect when we fight Lancers, though. I was expecting a whole wave of enemies. Ooh, we almost got through it. We have the defense up. I'm okay if red hair dies. Putting Ku on the battlefield is a pretty good idea. Oh, or Tristan first. Yeah, Tristan, that works too. Alright. Since it's using its Noble Phantasm / whatever skill, we'll answer in kind with evade. Mostly just to avoid taking shit tons of damage. Got a few stars out of that, good stuff. How much they got? 350k? That wasn't too bad. I'm trying to figure out which cards it's Buster. Is it the fire or the cannon? Ooh, an Oreshkigal Brave Chain. Let's not waste that opportunity. Sorry, Tristan. Our Lancer has slightly higher priority than you do. Hitting for 50k with crits, that's pretty good. Oh god, we're critting a lot when we shouldn't be. I spoke too soon. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Cool. That is a lot of damage, alright. I forget what the random effects on this are. I know one of them's the guaranteed one is like invuln, so we'll hold off on that for now. Oh, I'd like to use Tristan's arts combo. I want to make sure Tristan stays alive, so I'm going to have Mash take a couple hits for us here. I know this is available, it only does like 50k though. I want to get Oreshkigal's NP ready so we can definitely kill it next turn. Because Oreshkigal's arts card should do a shit ton of damage. Alright, she should get like a bunch of burn on her. The burn is kind of unfortunate. Alright, Oreshkigal. What is your overcharge, Oresh? Let's see. Increased Buster effectiveness increases with overcharge. Increased attack of allies with Blessing of Kur. Unfortunately, we don't have Blessing of Kur or the Mana Burst. But we can just do a Brave Tune. Let's make sure he doesn't randomly crit us. Yeah, I don't even know if I care about saving Tristan when we have like a Brave Chain like this. This is pretty good for us. In terms of damage output. I feel like the easier the fight is for me, the more lives I fare I am with it. Like my plays and whether or not the servants I have survive. It's like, oh, if I'm gonna win easily, you know, it's like, who cares? Someone can die. Okay, we killed one tank. But they said they're mass producing them, so we're probably going to be facing a whole pile of those. Great job, Aresh, for your first fight. Even though it was a single target fight, you actually did pretty well, like really well. Ku might have actually done better, but that's because I was expecting expecting an AoE fest of like a bunch of new robots, maybe ones with guns or something. As it's like obvious that their melee robots aren't that great, so they like bring out ranged ones to hopefully take down Master or something. Here we go, more of the same. Red hair, not exact. I let red hair die last time. I'm tempted to bring out Jing K, but she has Star Absorb on her, which is really problematic. It's a problematic ability. Alright. We'll keep with this. I'm tempted to put Ku in second place. Do that. We're gonna put Ku in second place, assuming we're just fighting more of these guys. When red hair dies, we'll bring out Ku. Ku and Ereshkigal are pretty friggin' durable when they need to be. Especially if we actually put more points into Ereshkigal's first and third skill. He gets a lot of durability out of that. Damn, this thing is flimsy. Yeah, it was pretty flimsy. If they had copied the Border's armor and the ability to withstand a 0 sale, it would have been a formidable foe. What did they do? These are mass produced. These were made with mass production rather than high performance. So we're gonna face like 5 more of them. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6. I mean, if they can just pump them out, why not put out light armor like APCs? That makes sense. Somebody get me an anti-world noble phantasm right now. I'm sorry, I don't have one of those. Ah, data updated. Damn it. Getting me kicked out. This must be the first of the 2 resets tonight. Wait, it takes. You know, it's kind of funny. They're doing a game of like an AI who's been online for like 2,000 years, who is made in prehistory, or like very, very ancient history. So, how did he, without ever making an AI or a computer ever before, solve the issue that we still have today with updates? Every time he updates himself, he has to go offline. How does he solve that to never go offline? I don't know. How does he run flawlessly? Who knows? We'll just... It's just kind of funny that it's they haven't solved that in their own game, and then they go and make a game about it, and you're like, wait a minute, wouldn't he just be offline and for extended, like literal months every time he has to replace a vacuum tube or something? Unless he also has like backup versions of himself already running before the first time he went online. Alright, skip. Into the fight. Okay. I already read that, so it is what it is. Oh, there's actually a lot of people streaming Grand Order right now. Shit. Way more than there usually is. Alright, Ereshkigal. We'll do Ereshkigal's cards first. These guys are pretty flimsy. There's 8 though. Okay, so we're gonna have to like kill a couple. We could have actually probably done Buster first. Like, try and kill one of these. That might have made more sense. These ones are even flimsier. They're also not that big. They kind of just duplicated and shrunk the design. We could AoE now. I'm gonna see if we can, like, put the hurt on a few of these other ones first. I want to find one of the ones that's actually, like, hard to kill. Because we don't have, like, 10-10-10 on a Reshkigal yet, so... She does kind of have to pick and choose when to use her abilities. Oh, that was a mistake. Should have been a Reshkigal twice first. Oh well. Yeah, this is massive overkill. If it doesn't look like we can kill the tank, that's when we NP. We'd need a crit to kill it. I guess we just blow them all up this turn. That's fine. I didn't want to use Blessing Cure, but hey. It makes sense. Perfect. Time to Kirkigal or Kala these boys. Ooh! The double Nido Chris Assassin and King Hassan. Awesome. And now's where the real damaging guys show up. These are the last three? Yeah. Saw that coming. Alright. You're gonna evade. He absorbed stars with that? Frickin' Christ, I hate that. Stupid horse. Stupid, stupid horse. We even have a Brave Chain. I was like, I'll just evade him so that he doesn't die and can buy us a turn. And this is what we get in return. God damn it. Alright. Well, since he ate all our Star Absorb... 6 turns, 4 turns with cooldown. They're gonna get their abilities off at some point. I may as well just focus them down one at a time. Unless I think I can crit or hit really... Like, I lost all my stars because I tried to just keep Red Hair alive by using what I thought was just an evade. That sucks. If we'd, like, not done that, we had a lot better chances of critting. Okay. Thank God it's only for one turn. Red Hair is basically useless. Alright. Cool. We might do okay if we do this. Just shy of killing it. Close enough. Okay, so Hair kills that guy. Ereshkigal goes on the offensive against the next guy. Alright. Sounds good to me. I still haven't seen his NP. He hasn't really had a fight that he's amazing at, and his NP generation isn't good enough for this. He's like guarded like 3 of those burns. That's quite impressive. Good job, Ereshkigal. Alright. Since we're still a turn off, I'll just have Mash tank these. The low hit count on the weapon actually makes it better. Since this is the last enemy, I'm just gonna use this cooldown reduction to make sure we kill it this turn. In theory, we could like crit and probably get it, but there's no point taking chances. We should just kill it immediately and move on. Plus, did we get the cameo? Did we get the cameo? No cameo. Alright, we fought all the vehicles off. We got a gold drop. Did we get a monument or something? Or one of those engine cores. Yeah, we got an engine core as a drop. Reactor cores, alright. They're powered by... They're combustion engines. They're just combustion engines, right? Based on stage techniques. Alright. Blew up half to them. There's no end in sight. I'm guessing it's something like this. No? We killed them all? You don't even have a factory. Slightly higher percent of our resources towards production. And directly piloting one. Alright. The AI of your old robots, probably not the best. You probably should write a new AI if you're going to use a ranged vehicle instead of a close combat mecha. Like a tank should have a different AI than a tiny fighty robot. So I assume this next one's going to be like a boss tier enemy. If we're fighting another one. Dumping you. Duping you. Dumping you. It's like, fight Archer and Assassin. Here's a Mordred for you. I'll take the Nazah. I kind of want to... You know, if there's a Nazah, I kind of want to bring someone else. Ku is probably good enough to kill a lot of these, especially if we're fighting a boss version. I almost want to bring Ku instead, even though he does slightly less damage. I'm going to take Semiramis because I think we're getting a mix. So Semiramis, Nazah, and Mash looks good to me. We'll have the star generation so we can always use her NP. That's pretty good. And I'm taking a second Lancer because I'm expecting that the Lancer problem is... Lancers are going to be our main concern, not the Riders, but I could be wrong. Yeah, they're actually trying to kill you now because they know where you are. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, what's going through Yu's head right now? I mean, we know, they don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. She won't interact again because she doesn't want to be seen fighting. And she's already secured Xiaoyu. Shangyu. There's the mecha I expected. We finally rendezvoused. So, what was your plan then? We left the villagers. You taught them to forage in like a day. Oh, it has reserves. Okay, cool. That's fine. Defeat Qin Shi Huang before their food reserves run out. Sounds good. They said they have a lot of reserve. They said they have a lot of food, so probably means we have a couple days at least. Not that I expect this Lostbelt to go on too long with the timeline-wise, given the pressure we're under. With them having stolen the Shadow Order. We're lucky they didn't blow it up after dissecting it. And here we go. The tanks are the main threat. Okay. As predicted, the tank is way more health than the soldiers. Okay. I may as well put this on cooldown. That's my thought, at least. The tank is going to be attacking regardless of what I do, so... May as well focus the tank. If we're going to AoE NP someone... If we can get, like, Samuramis to have a Buster card, that would be fine. I kind of wish I had some defensive or offensive but generally use buffs on this team, but I'm kind of just sticking people in the team. Alright. We're not taking that much damage. It might be a good opportunity to generate some NP. And Ramus doesn't actually do 10k, right? Fine. Getting Nazar some NP, although the damage we're taking from dots is getting a little bit ridiculous. That's really annoying. Okay. I think we're just gonna have to kill this guy, because the dot damage is getting ridiculous. Yeah, that's a crazy amount of damage. That's like 2,000 damage per tick. That's gonna kill her. I didn't even want to cleanse her. That's just annoying. Alright. We don't need to use her poison ability here. If we had any Nazar skills, I'd use them, but there's nothing for a Nazar to do right here. We can cleanse debuffs with Nazar's third skill, I believe, if we need to, but I don't think we need to at this point. 1,000 isn't too bad. We kill the back two guys. We'll do a little bit of hurt on this tank, but not much. No, we didn't even crit. That's unfortunate. I'm expecting the next tank we fight to be considerably harder because it's supposed to be piloted by the guy himself, the big man himself. I'm thinking about using Nazar's first skill here to try and get more NP. I think I'm gonna pass because she can use her guts if she needs to. Since this NPC should have like rank 10 guts, or like at least 8, which we only need to be at like 82 to make use of 8. Yeah. We're probably good. Alright, third wave. 3 tanks, as expected. Okay. It says 80. It says 80%. I'm gonna just make that 100%. Yeah. No reason to wait. 100% is better. Not seems better. It is better. All right. We're gonna focus on this main tank. Double Brave Chain seems good. All three of them should be alive. We hopefully kill the middle tank with this Brave Chain. There we go. The other two fall when we get some of Nazav's cards, really. Okay. The damage we're taking, people could actually start dying, so we use MASH to tank this. Ooh, that's a good set of cards. Don't mind if I do. Alright. And all the tanks are dead. I think they probably went light on the armor and the AI, which is why they're not that dangerous. I'm not even sure if the hairy one's even supposed to be. Me neither. What does she mean? Uh-huh. One of those ones where you're like, huh. You know. No cure, sorry. Marjorie's just like, I won't go after you till you do anything stupid. And now they can't orbital strike us. Good stuff. More waves of automata and Duoduo Yushan. You've all been training your kung fu for just such an occasion. Show the enemy your skill. Gonna see some badass kung fu. I assume there'll be like the Imperial Guard is like all robots like Zhengyu, or they're all crazy OP. This will be another wave of automata. Seems about right. Another round of bringing Naza for AoE. And I almost want to just bring Ku front line. But you never know when some of the infantry are actually going to be dangerous. Ooh. What's Da Vinci planning? Once we rest it up, we should make her Zhang with all haste. Oh god, it's another day that's passing. I'm probably gonna be at like -5 to all my cooldowns. She stole a comms protocol. Who's comms? I assumed we were tapping into Qin Shi Huang's, but anyway. Well, at least Da Vinci somehow managed to smuggle her laptop out. That's good. What's she planning on doing? She's planning on going on a solo mission to take out the Emperor? Sounds like her. What's she thinking? You want to run it solo? You got presence concealment, so you might at least be hard to see. In theory, wouldn't she have like conceptual advantage against Qin Shi Huang because she's the person who she's famous for trying to kill him? Although he didn't die, so if he was a servant, he would have advantage, but she's a servant who's designed to kill him, so maybe she'd win, just by the fact that her legend says she tries to kill him. Qin Shi Huang can't have a magical advantage because he's non-magical and is still alive, so he's not a servant. Yeah. Spend that command seal. I order you to come back safe. You have to take down a whole city with, what, your knife? You promised to come back safe. Alright, cure ourselves. Hey, it's Excalibur. How's it going, my man? Starving. I guess it's time for breakfast for you then. Must be nice having a bunch of free time in the morning. I think I have some vacation coming up before Christmas. Get to relax for a bit. Our camouflage device is just broke. That's... Our illustrious commander. Oh, it's Gordolf making a fucking mess of everything again. Literally everyone does that. Everyone spreads their tech on the floor to fix it, especially when you have literally nothing because you've been evicted from your home and are literally camping on the fucking ground in an open field. Man, Gordolf screwing us over at every turn. Gordolf, you need to stop. You already caused one disaster. All the ass-kicking power. Jinkei's an assassin. She needs to be doing assassin-y things. If you're using her as a frontline fighter, in theory you're doing it wrong. Although this game doesn't let you do anything other than field frontline fighters, so there's not much you can do about that. So what do you usually have for breakfast? I'm preferential towards muffins. I just happen to like eating muffins. So I usually have them for breakfast. I used to have like toaster strudels or Pop-Tarts, or even toast, but I kind of lost interest in having those all the time. Once in a while is fine, but not all the time. Well, battle 1 of 3. Semiramis can use her NP turn on the next turn. Or not the next turn, the next wave. She'll use it wave 2. Ideally, I want like Semiramis NP and then Naza's NP on the third wave, because it's probably gonna be tanks. Get us that juicy NP gain. 15%, 24%. Naza, your NP gain is kind of atrocious. It's almost painful. It's the borrowed Naza. It's not our Naza. I would have actually brought my Ereshkigal Gal if I had a choice. So hopefully we kill the tank and one of the puppet soldiers here. Yeah, working as intended. If we crit, we can kill this. Or if we just use it as our third slot in the chain. Alright. Sounds good to me. I want to give Naza some mana. This may not kill him and we might take unnecessary damage here, but that's what I'm trying to do. Give him some mana. Okay. Naza needs a little bit of NP if she wants to do anything. Like there. There we go. Now we're good. In theory, if it's all non-archers, Semiramis can kill it. Great, okay. Well, Semiramis ain't doing jack this turn. Jeez. If we're insane, we don't even have any crit chance. There's no chance we even kill one of these guys. Semiramis does like 20k on NP. It's actually very disappointing. We have the Buster down up. It'll be slightly higher, but her actual NP damage is pretty low. We're a little bit off for MASH to be NPing. That's kind of unfortunate. We're gonna need Naza's NP next turn, so we're not gonna do that. Assuming Mash survives, we can probably use her NP. We're gonna go this way. These are all gold, so they're all gonna get 3 attacks. Ew, that burn hurt. 1600? Hey, Mash is gonna use her NP and hopefully survive? It doesn't do any right, it doesn't give attack up. Okay, so we're gonna do... Try to make sure we kill at least one of these guys. Mash is probably dead. I was actually considering using her taunt, but if we're really lucky, she can survive this turn and then die next turn. Zero seems good to me. 0 seems good to me. 1100, not amazing, but that's okay. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, we're not killing these guys. Unless... No, we're not killing these guys. I'm gonna assume we're not. We'd need to crit to kill that guy. Since, well, Semiramis struggles to do 10k. And we don't have any attack buffs. There's Mash eating that hit for us. Semiramis has 13-8. This has 10-0. There's no way she does 10k flat damage. I'm gonna use Q simply because his NP might come in useful, maybe, if we can get it up there. We're a ways off. Oh, okay, Puppet Soldiers in the last wave. I wasn't expecting that. Looks like we won't just instantly nuke this thing into oblivion. Alright. So, drop the bomb and use arts cards. Semiramis is 2% off. We have live cards. I'll use Semiramis's NP next turn if we, because we'll hopefully have some, what was I saying? Hopefully next turn we will actually have more stars so we can use Semiramis's third skill. None of this gives debuff cleanse. That's, I mean, I guess I can up the star absorb, but that doesn't really help us that much. I'll cleanse the debuffs, I guess. I don't expect to have 2 on me at the same time in the future. How do you like burning? No taunt. In theory, Semiramis gets hit by one of these guys and can NP without ever using a card. Yeah. One, two, we only have 5. We can't even use Semiramis' third skill, so there's no point using it. Using this cooldown reduction thing. We'll just let it go. This'll fire off. And then we use these 2 to finish. Maybe if we're lucky, kill things. At the very least, we'll have the defense up from Semiramis. Even if she doesn't do the most damage with a Noble Phantasm, I feel like her defense up is actually one of our more useful utilities when we aren't bringing AoE support casters like, say, Caster Gilgamesh, Merlin, Waver. Like, just having the defense up buff is nice. 20% defense up, You're less likely to die. It's nice. Okay, Semiramis is super dead. I'm just gonna cleanse her so she doesn't die. I mean, obviously we win the fight, right? Like, who should kill it in one hit? There we go. Victory is ours. Good fight. Good fight. Okay, the near future revealed itself before him. A looming threat of war? Who is this? Who's this perspective from? Zhang Yu? Or Qin Shi Huang? Or maybe even... Yeah, it's Zhang Yu. Even without visiting the palace, his predictive calculations warned him of the inevitable conflict and inescapable result. He knows what's coming and what's happening. He even knows the Emperor's going to lose. Are you going to do something? Ah, the problem is the future that follows for him. Wait, you can't even see a future if Zhang Yang falls? Like, I guess that makes sense because the Lostbelt's probably going to get destroyed. Several years from now, this very world would no longer exist. His predictive algorithms tell him the world is no longer going to exist. That is a tough one for you. That's how it should be. No one should have to carry responsibility for history on their shoulders as you have. I would sympathize. I would sympathize with Zhang Yu's problem. And Yu's like, oh, I feel sorry for you. And then I remember that our protagonist is experiencing the exact same thing and has experienced it for like the last 2 years straight. But she doesn't actually care about him, she just cares about Zhang Yu. Oh well. She's still an interesting character. You're allowed to have narrow-minded people in your story, like that are focused on one thing rather than being overly sympathetic. She's not supposed to be human, right? She's like barely cares about other people, so this makes perfect sense. The one person she cares about, she kind of cares about their issue, but not someone else's. You just told him of it. Surely you understand him, right? Yes, that is why she wants you, Zhang. Flashback time? Looks like a flashback time. Yep, it's flashback time. That was a surprisingly short flashback. Alright. I was expecting a little bit more dialogue, like at least a few paragraphs. Like, okay, we're gonna get Yu's flashback, and no, we aren't. Why don't we go straight to Shangyang? Okay. Ooh, is this what's his face? Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! It's One Punch Man. Okay. Okay, this could be a tough one. This could be a tough one. If this isn't waves, if this isn't waves of soldiers, this could be a really tough fight. Alright. Can I keep Nero alive through this whole fight? That is an interesting question. He's an assassin. If this is who I'm thinking, I may want to bring Dion instead. Have him tank a few hits for me. Alright, we'll bring Dion with Volumen. You want to summon Yume Ren? Yeah, I can see why you'd want to summon Yume Ren after all this. It's quite the story. They've nicely refocused and recontextualized things to be about her rather than anything else. Your attack stat is very low at 9200. But I mean, it's not exceptionally low for a servant. Yours is abysmal. What is Anastasia's? 11k compared to 9200? Even at 111, Anastasia actually outputs way more damage. Oh, you had breakfast now. That's good, that's good. What'd you have for breakfast? Pancakes? Waffles? Toast? Eggs? Toaster strudels? Pop-Tarts? Pastries? Cupcakes? Or sorry, muffins, I guess. Cupcakes would be silly. Although the difference between a cupcake and a muffin is really just frosting, isn't it? That's kind of how I see it, at least. 9400. Tuna. Alright, tuna it is then. I'm not sure who to take for like my second caster. She has no defense, so she'll just die in like one hit. I might just take Nero, because I'm thinking this is going to be Li Shuwen. In which case, I could just bring another tank. I could just bring tank after tank after tank to throw in his way. We'll try this. We'll try this composition out though. Let's see. I want someone who does like bonus damage. Maybe dive to blue instead then. Although we don't care about batteries, so maybe, just maybe, this is an opportunity to run something else, like... Afternoon at the Fortress is pretty bad, let's not do that. That's crit strength, not NP strength. That's full defense. NP gain increase, crit strength. I want... I know what I want. I don't see it here. I want NP damage and stars per turn. That would be NP damage, stars per turn, and maybe something else. Let's see. Ignore invincible and stars per turn. That's not actually a terrible CE here. Buster effectiveness, defense when defeated. NP strength and C-star drop rate, that's not bad. This is what I would like. I would like MLB of this. Do I not have one of those? Oh, Go West I think is the gotcha CE, that's probably why. Maiden leading Chaldea is pretty close to what I'm looking for. God. I'm gonna be NPing every turn. Buster and crit strength. I could just use Heaven's Feel. Buster and crit strength. I could have sworn I had something for this. Quick Buster, blah blah blah. Oh, these are all those kind of Cs. I don't have one. Oh, here we go. NP strength and Buster card effectiveness. This is actually what we're looking for. Just a shit ton of damage. That'll do. No, that's 120 times 1.1 would be 122. Or 132. Really? That's not as good as just running Heaven's Feel. What am I doing? It would be better to just run Heaven's Feel at this point. Do a ton of damage. Yeah, NP5. NP5 Mordred. Delight works. Oh, it's a juicy Mordred, but it doesn't have foes, and it doesn't have a CE. Like, if it could have Aerial Drive MLB, that would be so good. Or a Black Grail, or Heaven's Feel. We could do a ton of damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't look to be as... Actually, is there one of those... Is there a... I'm curious, how much damage these actually give? Just because I don't see them right. Oh, they're like 15%. I was thinking, if we're fighting specific classes, could we actually make use of the 3-star CEs that are good, effective versus classes, but they're like 15%. Like, who would use that? Okay, we're gonna do this. We'll see how it goes. I'm doing this composition because I think this is Li Shuwen. Yeah, DW gives you good NP levels and then nothing else. Like, if we had like a starting cage or anything for it, it would be so good. Of course, it's also the wrong class because we're fighting assassins, right? Alright, Zhan Yang. It is a mega structure more than a city. Can we not just start blowing stuff up, destroy his processing capabilities? Or is it only the giant head thing? Yeah, nobody lives in the city. They already said there isn't a lot of people here. Yeah, if the soldiers are robots, why not just use robots to manage everything? Do they still have gates on their cities? Look, it's the Royal Guard. Cool. Okay, so we're just fighting the Royal Guard, we're not fighting Lee. This could be slightly easier than expected. At the very least, I should have just loaded my roster with casters instead of taking like two casters and like a ton of defensive guys. Oh well, let's see how this goes. It just means we're gonna be taking forever to clear stuff. Yeah, we don't even have like any buffs other than Nero to carry us through stuff. All right. I guess Nero just slaps the first wave and calls it a day. These are Lamo 2.0. I could face card my way through this. I'm gonna just try nuking the first wave and then assume that the first and second wave will be similar to each other. They probably don't have AoE attacks, so I'm just gonna go in on NP damage because we can do it right away. If someone survives, we'll use the arts. We'll make sure they die. Aren't Lamu Lancers? Or I don't actually remember what class they are. Don't let them NP. Is it that bad? Oh, this might have been a mistake then. Oh, someone actually survived. Alright. But I wasn't by much. Alright. Yeah, okay, so taunt is not a great solution to these guys because it'll buff strip them. Ugh, these guys are gonna get to NP. Alright. As much as I like seeing a lot of Mordred cards, I'm gonna be honest, Mordred is not very impressive right here. Like, I'm being completely honest, Mordred is not the servant we want for this. Nero does AoE, but she's not gonna come up for a while. So I should at least get them in range to be killed by Nero when the time comes, or Mordred when the time comes to AoE them down. I'm not gonna focus the big dangerous one. I don't know how many actions they have by themselves. Oh, that wasn't bad. As I'd rather have one guy buff strip than like 3 guys buff strip. Alright. Let's just go for Nero getting her NP. Can we kill that guy? Nero gets a random number of cards next turn that we can't predict. So we'd be at like 40. We have our skills on cooldown for 2 turns. So we will be able to NP if we can hit 50%. I'm gonna go for this guy then. Because we're gonna hit 50% with Nero, which means in 2 turns, we should be able to use cooldowns and her battery, and hopefully kill the Imperial Guard guy. So one more turn, and our skills. These skills will be off cooldown because we'll use the cooldown reduction. All right. You know, I honestly may as well get Mordred's NP ready to roll too. Although we're probably getting Nero cards, so we won't use it. Why not? Not like we have anything more productive to do. Okay. Skill cooldown, 3 guys ready to NP. I'm gonna have Mash eat the first one. Since you've said I'll have all my buffs stripped, I'll assume that's true. So I want to kill 2 of these guys. Let's see. I think the first guy is going to die to the NP. If not, it is what it is. We could double NP with Mordred, but I don't think it's worth it when we could instead do a Nero Brave Chain and make sure this middle guy's dead. It's possible he dies to damage, but I'm not positive. We don't have that high damage. If we were NP2, I think the middle guy would be definitely be dead. Okay, he is dead. That's good. So this is about what I was expecting. Either the middle guy's dead, or the middle guy and the back guy was dead. We actually could have used mashes. Okay, it does buff strip. That's no big deal. That is no big deal. 44k. That guy's actually in a lot of trouble. If there was more of a fight coming, I would probably, like, if there was more enemies or another wave, I would probably use Mash's taunt and then her NP to keep us alive longer. But since that's not a problem, and I don't really care if Mash dies, we'll do this. He should be dead this turn or next turn. Oh, I didn't mana burst with Mordred. Well, he should be dead anyway, but we should have mana bursted with Mordred to make sure he's dead. Like, no reason to miss damage like that. Yeah, that 50% damage up on Nero's guts is great. I love it. So much damage. Okay. Mission accomplished. Got 2 pairs of balls this time. Alright, battle at Zhang. More of them, I assume? I mean, I can't bring red hair, and Mordred has better combat stats and better NP gain than Miss Stabby Nazah. I guess this comp works fine if no one dies. I'll leave it as is. We'll basically aim to do the same thing. We could go with a less defensive Mystic Code, but I mean, it's on cooldown for like half the time, so... I'm expecting to fight Li Shuet at some point, so we may as well stay with the same composition. Yeah, they're finally taking actual losses, even if they're replaceable soldiers and nowhere near their elite, because they have 1 million soldiers in the caves, apparently. Like, what about the Mount Lee cave? They have literal armies of servants they can send at us. They could be sending at us, or at least send someone. Yeah, they could. Yeah, it's probably more Saitamas this round. But like, why not awaken like 30 heroes and be like, you need to save the Empire. It's in its darkest hour. Like, sending one person to awaken an army would be way better than these guys, I think. Eh? Only 2? What's in the next wave? What's in the next wave? They're only sending 2 at us this time. That's weird. I don't trust that. This is fairly impressive, considering these guys don't even have magic fists. The fact that they can hurt servants at all. Oh, come on, that crit would have been great for us. Why you gotta do that to me? What if? Whatever, it is what it is. Alright. Yeah, they have like 1 million servants, but they aren't using them. It's kind of weird. Alright, this guy's gonna hit pretty hard. We'll just use Mash to eat his ability. I don't know how hard he hits. And you know what? I don't want to find out. He probably hits pretty hard. So many Mordred cards. I want Mordred cards, but the game keeps not sending me anyone for Mordred to kill. Like, I want to use you, Mordred, but you're not very useful right here. Let's be honest. Like, well, I know the invincibility works because it's not buff strip. We tested that in the last fight. It's buff strip after special abilities, so you can still use your invincibility. It's just not going to apply after the first hit. Yeah, it's like buff strip after damage. That's why we're still using it. I wouldn't have done it twice. I wouldn't have done it twice in a row. Well, okay, I would have done it twice in a row, but I would have laughed at myself for being an idiot. You know how it is. Alright. So I see Claret Blood Arthur's Overcharge is not what we're looking for. I think these other two Imperial Guard will probably survive, but we're just gonna aim for the main guy anyway. Because I don't care. That was actually pretty good in terms of damage. Our overcharged NP is like, what, 20%? 30%? It's gonna be pretty good. Let's melt the Imperial Guard. Gods. NP1 Neros. Like, even though Nero doesn't have a mana burst, you have to remember, Nero's third skill is a 3-turn mana burst in terms of damage. It actually gives 50%, which is the same amount as mana burst, so if I give her a CE with Buster card effectiveness, she's getting, like, even better than 50% Buster on it. Alright, one guy lived. Alright. I probably shouldn't have intuitioned that turn. I don't have any Nero cards. It'd be best to intuition when I have Nero, but whatever. I think even if Mordred crits, she fails to kill the Imperial Guard. Oh no, she would have got him if she crit. I blame Mordred for failing. Alright. Fight's over. That was a really solid amount of damage for Noble Phantasm. Don't want it to end here. I need to keep going. I need to finish the chapter. Finally, an opportunity to use Mordred. She might actually be effective against these enemies. And Semiramis is obviously our second choice. This is, as far as I can tell, an AoE fight. If it's not an AoE fight, this is the Servant Lancer. And in that case, we have to bring out a saber who can actually kill bosses. Mr. Erendite Overload himself. There we go. Probably in this order. Probably in this order. And we do have the cost, so we can actually run Nero instead. Oh. Nero can't run a max CE. That's fine. Nero does not need maxed out CEs. We can run something else. Not Buster. Nero's not a Buster servant. Art of Death. Yeah, Art of Death will work. Art of Death might even be better on Lancelot. 3 hit evade and a guts. Nero, I mean, Nero is almost close to as hard to kill as Ku. It depends on what the scenario is. Because Nero has triple. He finished this using Okita Assassin. Nice, nice, nice. I don't have Okita Assassin. I'm contemplating getting her when she comes out on NA though. Mordred's getting bored of fighting. We can finally enter the city. We should find their factories and destroy it. You're gonna wreck them? Yeah. Oh look, an actual city with commerce. Painting pictures, singing songs, and dancing, every single one of which is Confucianism. What's going on? Double standards much. The only thing they have to their names is a single bed in the basement. When they're not sleeping, they're working their fingers to the bone on monuments and murals 100 times more magnificent than anything they'll ever own. That is pretty miserable. They're state artists. Yeah, I was gonna say, singing is part of Confucianism. Qin Shi Huang has double standards. Yeah. He hates Confucianism, but he literally is forcing people basically at gunpoint to make songs and make wonderful songs, literally poetry set to a rhythm, poetry set to a backing music, and commission art pieces for him. All right. The sole audience is Yuhong. All right. The double standards. Classic autocracy. It reminds me of all the Chinese aunties who are like hating on Kiryu Coco from Hololive for mentioning Taiwan. Taiwanese people being in her viewership. And I'm like, are they aware that they are circumventing their own government's firewalls illegally to hate on someone who is not in their country for not following Chinese doctrine? Like, their government doesn't even want them on the website, let alone commenting on it. If they get found, they can have their social credit score completely destroyed for doing literally nothing but shilling the Chinese Communist Party. Like, the logic of people in the logic of people who are bound by an ideology is not very straightforward. It's always filled with double standards like this. Alright. So the people. All the evils of humanity are concentrated in him. And all that's left are worthless trash. Yeah, giant cat cafe. Sounds about right. Yeah, song is part of confusion. That's infected with the concept of singing or something, which they do. My own hometown was destroyed, and yet you worship him. Hmm. He's just mad because he didn't succeed. It would have been much better if he kept doing that. I mean, if you're like trying to start a rebellion and the guy who rules you can just drop meteors from, or drop satellites from orbit and obliterate the entire region, I can see being like, well, there's nothing I could have done about that, and moving on, maybe trying to make it a quieter one or even larger, or trying to like move. Like, what do you want someone to do if they don't like the government here, laying you? What do you want someone to honestly do, other than get nuked or executed? Probably just the city gets nuked, because that seems to be the plan. Even if you don't hate the government, you just get bombs dropped on you. Because I feel like her perspective is perpetually just being told. She's being told more than actually seeing a lot. I feel like that's what she's going with. Looks like we're fighting her. The worst tendencies, but not the tendency to murder people. That is not a problem. Or enslaving people. It is the tendency that is... Which one's the bad ones? I can't remember. Well, it is a form of peace to be living here. Repent. See, I don't know if she actually sees the truth or is just being told everything by the immortal god emperor she worships, right? So I can't actually hate her. As it's possible she's being deceived. What would you do if that was you? If you were the master of Chaldea, or if you were Lancer? Yeah, there's nothing you can do. A lot of people wouldn't do anything. Most people wouldn't do anything. Especially since he kills you at the slightest hint of literally doing anything other than farming and fucking nothing. Unless you somehow get in range of the palace, then you have to contend with automata who can take on servants in a fistfight, so I mean... Good luck. Good luck with using like a basic hoe or a pick against fucking servant-killing automata. Alright. 2? Okay, so it's gonna be what's-her-face next turn. Alright. This is not the fastest way to get here, but we're gonna do this. I probably should have put Mash's arts last. I'm trying to get Mash some NP. True. The reason this presumably got pruned is because it's completely stagnant at this point. There's nothing more for the Emperor to come up with and do. Further, civilization itself hasn't moved in thousands of years, as all people do is worship the Emperor and do nothing other than farming. Alright, we're gonna drop a bomb on these guys, and then move on. If only we actually had the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. These could actually do something in this plot. Like, if we pulled out the Hanging Gardens and started shooting down his satellites, or just nuked his fucking city. Like, I'm summoning a flying city that has death lasers. Why can't I not just blow up the whole frickin' capital city and move on? I think it's funny. Like Hanging Gardens of Babylon is city-sized. It's a weaponized fortress. We should be able to, even if we can't win, we should be able to blast a hole in his fortress city. Send his giant-ass brain tumbling to the ground. Drop a satellite on me with a hole in your brain, but I don't know. By the same logic that Mordred also shot a missile out of the sky with Clarent Blood Arthur, we could also just cut their fucking city in half too, right? It's like, just aim up at the sky, bzzz, do a shit ton of structural damage. Like, it's not like he's expecting missiles to become flying at us. Come flying at him. Alright, Qin Liang Yu. Oh, these guys actually have a lot of health. Alright. Let's see. Cool. Well, Mordred's gonna start. Ooh. I wanted to do Buster, but Arts is actually pretty tempting here. Even if two of them are not the best cards. I probably could have done Semiramis's NP game up. Oh well. Oh, we didn't crit. Ha, lame. Oh, she hits really hard. Okay. Another Arts combo. I guess we're NPing next turn. If Mash is alive, we can do like the Buster down resist, so Clarent Blood Arthur does 30% bonus damage. That's pretty spicy. I assume Mash will be alive. I'm hoping she's alive. Alright. We have 3 Mordred cards. It's really tempting to blast away at her. I'm thinking... I don't know what Qin Liang Yu does for abilities. I don't actually know what she does. I don't think Mash is going to die next turn, so I'm not going to do anything. We'll wait for another turn to use her abilities. We're gonna just go in on trying to break bar this, I think. Yeah, I'm not too worried about her NP. That's why I'm not, like, if I end up break barring, I'm not too worried about it. Besides, she doesn't actually have that much health. I'm actually kind of worried about the puppet soldiers, which is why I'm waiting a turn. Alright. Yeah, not the best ability I could want, but it's fine. Alright. Lord Camelot doesn't grant damage, so I'm just gonna do Buster first here. I don't think we'll get through her defenses like this unless we crit, but it is what it is. Oh shit, we might make it. 18k? I don't know if we do 18k on a regular Buster hit. I like the way Liang Yu looks. Sweet, the Buster resist down actually got us there. This is basically just Buster damage up, right? Oh, we don't even need to use our ability, okay. What does this do? She has activate when damaged, decrease the single enemy's crit strength, and recover allies' HP when critically attacked. No recovery for anyone with 0 HP. Okay. The robots we don't care about that much. Mash is in a bit of a pickle in terms of damage. We're gonna drop an NP, kill those two guys, she's going to do her NP and attack twice. We can do like Mordred's Buster and Arts. Since she just does a damage boost, do we just use Mash's Taunt to make sure we don't take any damage here? I guess Mordred survives no matter what, so I'm okay with whatever happens. I just don't want to waste abilities. Alright. So Semiramis is going to nuke the puppet soldiers. I don't know how long her turn buffs last, because it might be better to just taunt. Alright, I'm going to taunt here. I'm going to taunt knowing it's just a damage boost, just because I don't know how much damage it actually does. This will also keep our defensive bonuses rolling. Because, like, Semiramis is actually pretty good for our team. Even if she doesn't do a ton against... Do that crit damage down. Oh, she just has an extra. She doesn't even NP. Alright. Our crit damage down is actually pretty high. I don't know how much that matters. It might, though. Alright. Let's do this. I was tempted to do Arts, but I don't actually know what the crit down damage does. Oh yeah, it heals her every time. Ugh. Okay. Intuition is just bad. It heals for about as much damage as she takes. That sucks. Now I kind of want Mash dead, because she's just causing me to gain crit stars. That's kind of annoying. Alright. I don't hate you, Mash, but please don't crit anymore. Weird feeling selecting the non-crit. Oh, we accidentally crit. The damage Mordred takes 0, 0, like 1,000. Moving on. Alright. Mordred's just gonna go in on damage again. Can I drain my own stars? I can. So, I could use Mordred's abilities faster, but you know what's funny? I'm gonna drain my own crit stars so that I can use Mordred safely. That and the Buster defense down, which is handy. Hooray! We just found the upside to Semiramis' star drain effect. See? It's not all downside. It's not all downside. It drains stars, so we don't accidentally trigger this effect. Isn't it a great upside? I think it's funny. Alright, she's not dead, she's just retreating. We killed like the few guards she had with us. Cleared that using Q Alter. I can see doing that. The man's an absolute beast. Alright. Now since she didn't do her evaporate, or no, she's a person, so she actually would retreat even if she dies, right? Alright. This will probably be the last one for a bit. Alright. Last node. Lancer and Assassins. Is this Li Shu Wen? Is this Li Shu Wen or the Imperial Guard? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which of them it's gonna be. I'm gonna assume it's Imperial Guard. I'm gonna assume it's Imperial Guard and keep my Saber roster strong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh, it's time to cry again? Oh no. Right. It's almost certainly what's-her-face. If you're saying that. But I already made the assumption, so we'll go with this. Hey, Shin Yongkyu. Royal Guard's here. Yep, it's Royal Guard. A lot of lives end in tragedy. Not as many as you'd think, though. And we're just not gonna respond with all the wonderful things? Like freedom? No, we're just gonna let her rant? Okay. It's okay. See, the smart thing Mash would say is that all the people who died are dying for personal liberty, and thus they value it more than they value peace. The right to choose how they want to live their lives. She is right that you technically get peace. I mean, it is a knowledge is of course a double-edged sword. But hey, it is what it is. If you choose liberty, that's what you get. Some people will be too smart and too greedy and start a war. Some people will get smart. But I mean, even if you don't have knowledge, there is always con men. There is always con men. You don't need to be able to read or write to do a fucking shell game and con people out of money. It's not exactly, like, a difficult thing to do. Or to lie to someone and then lie to someone else and get them to hate each other. Like, people are just greedy by nature. I mean, that's part of what I disagree with in this world, is, like, none of the people ever want to leave the confines of their city. Except for that one boy, and nothing really happens to it. What happens to anyone else who wants to leave? Do they just abandon it? Do they have a small outpost in a cave? Do they get nuked? Are their patrols just randomly murdering people? Alright, this is the Imperial Guard. I'm assuming we get more Imperial Guard next round, but for now, we go like this. I mean, you could say that they're too smart and greedy and would start a war, but remember, in this alternative history, he killed every single person. He conquered every single other nation. He didn't sit there and go like, I want peace so I won't invade everyone. He proactively went out and sought wars to conquer every single other nation on the planet. So by definition, what's-his-face is hella greedy and completely wrong. Because just what he did is wrong, because all those people died for basically no reason other than that he wanted to control what he's doing. So, like, the Emperor's pretty fucking greedy and defeating his own morality by conquering people, causing mountains upon mountains of corpses for nothing other than his own glorification. It's a self-defeating philosophy he has, but it is what it is. All right. Such is the way of things, I suppose. All right. I would prefer to be smacking Chin, but like, we do need this Imperial Guard guy to be within Noble Phantasming range. Okay, Nero has enough health. We should swap over to this guy. Nero's going to use her cooldown, her NP in... It might be in 2 turns, we'll see how it goes. I don't know what abilities What's-Her-Face is going to use here. I wanted to use this for Nero just so she doesn't take excess damage. Alright, we have 70, 30, 100. How much damage can Mordred do? Time to find out. Unfortunately, we don't have Mana Burst or Deep Buster down, but 32k isn't bad. Alright. NP combo for Mordred, or Arts combo for Mordred. Nero doesn't really need it. 83, we could put her last or second last. We'll put her first, actually. We're relying on Mordred, and I kind of want Mash's NP to go off sometime. Okay. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna have to use the Invuln taunt to make sure this guy doesn't, like, do anything stupid to us. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Alright. Let's see. We're gonna Claret Blood Arthur. That guy's gonna do his thing. Mordred goes in on Jin, whatever her name is. Alright. Let's do a shit ton of damage. Is this Buster crit or just Buster damage? This could be a lot of damage. What do you think? Arts or Mash's combo? Because Nero can NP next turn if she hits this Arts card. Oh, let's do that. I'm thinking we're doing this. Nero's NP next turn. Over Mash. I'm hoping we break her, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. This should be the biggest Claret Blood Arthur I've seen in a while. Not the biggest I've seen. 153, that's pretty good. 30k non-crit, that's pretty good. Buff strip. Okay. Actually a good time for us to do something. Nero's gonna go, she's gonna get attack buffs. Mordred's gonna try and gain NP off of this. So, Assassin's going to die. I don't know if Nero's going to survive this next turn. Hopefully we do. We're using Nero's Noble Phantasm to make sure the Imperial Guard's dead. I'm fairly certain that... Actually... Yeah, we're gonna kill the Imperial Guards, that's fine. We're gonna get overkill to try and get Mordred's Noble Phantasm up faster. No point using Intuition this turn, so we'll wait. Alright. This will kill the Imperial Guard, possibly pop her bubble, and then overkill hits will give us more NP charge for Mordred. It's 1.5, right? It should be just under, maybe 18k. I'm thinking 18k on the left percent. 18, 19, 20, 22, 3. Yeah, that was about right. Okay. Oh, Peaceful Rain. Oh, she gets attack effects now. Oh man, she hits hard. Alright, she hits hard now. Damn. So what's her effect? Activate during attack. Defense down. Decrease a single enemy's defense during your manual attacks. Remove a critical... Okay, remove buffs during crits and normal attacks defense down. Ouch, that's very dangerous. Okay. That's gonna hurt a lot. We have a Lancelot Brave Chain? Do we have enough stars for that? May as well pop this. Nero is probably dead. Ooh, we don't have enough stars for that. That's fine. I think that's okay. I could use the cooldown reduction here for Mordred. Yeah, Lancelot's in a bit of trouble. Oh, you don't like... Someone hates Lancelot. No, no, no. Oh, remove a single enemy's buff, drain your critical attack. It's drain your critical attacks. These aren't the... These are the offense ones. These are the offense ones. These were... Look, look, look. We have defense down on Nero before her break bar happened. This is on her attacks. This isn't on hit. This is on attack. I don't think that's how it works. I mean, if I screw up, I screw up. But that's what I think it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I can look dumb. I'm gonna say that right now, but I don't think he's gonna lose his buff when he crits. Boom. He just did half her health in like one turn. Yeah, the previous one, the previous battle, it was defensive, and it was definitely working. But this one was different buffs, which is why I was confident that's how it would go. All right, we have Erendite Overload. This is probably unnecessary, like totally unnecessary, because we're gonna do. We're using him instead of more. Well, yeah, he does a shit ton of damage. He's probably gonna get the kill. Damn. All right, let's go. 125k. Lancelot does a shit ton of damage. That was actually insane. Like, the turn he comes in, he gets a Brave Chain and, like, does half her health. The next turn is the other half of a break bar. He almost could have, like, killed... Like, that was an insane amount of damage for one turn. The fact that we had, like, all the star generation from himself, and then from Mordred as well, that worked out really well. I'm glad we... Like, that lined up really well for us. Alright, is this where she dies? Yeah. Lancelot is an absolute crit machine. Now, I'm gonna be honest. It would have been really awkward to have him come out if we'd lost someone in the previous battle. I would have been like, I can't use any abilities because they're all gonna hurt me. Yeah, it's sad time. All you did to bring about peace was take up a weapon to kill more people like everyone else? Everyone else who fights for peace takes up a weapon and thinks they're right. It seems like you're doing the same thing as anyone else, but it is kind of sad she has to die. She's got some strong beliefs. It depends what's happening, whether taking up weapons preserves peace. Or does it? If you're under attack, you can take up a weapon. Well, if a conflict is already underway, the only thing not taking up weapons does is just lead to more people dying. Like, people are going to die either way. You have, like, your generic situation. Like, the most generic hero situation is like bandits raid your hometown. What do you do? Yeah, exactly. It's like bandits raid your hometown. What do you do? Well, you can sit there and do nothing and let them continue to go, or you can pick up a weapon and try to stop them from causing even more harm. Although, by putting yourself in the way, that means more people are probably going to die because you will die and possibly those bandits die. Generic heroic situation. Always gotta make a choice there. I mean, we don't know if the revolution started out armed, right? And we don't know what you can actually do if anyone who disagrees with someone gets fucking nuked. Like, oh, I wrote poetry, nukes the entire city. Okay. At that point, you're like, well, I didn't even do anything to start conflict, and he's causing conflict. So the only person making conflict is the emperor against his own people, right? So you can see it that way, or you can say, if everyone does exactly as the emperor says and is a complete fucking sheep, no one would die. But again, did the village that we protected actually do anything against the emperor or try to create conflict? And the answer is no. So it's not necessarily about trying to preserve peace, because they probably didn't want to do anything. They weren't trying to start a revolution. They were just living their lives, right? And then he decided to kill them. So even in Qin Shi Huang's perfect world, by his own design, he's creating sources of conflict that will bring out. I mean, if people knew about them, they would be perpetually revolting, or there would always be people for him to stamp out. Because he's not creating something that everyone agrees with, which is, by the way, impossible. Like, people are always going to disagree with you. So he's trying to reduce the number of that by letting less people know about what he's actually doing. But again, I can easily see he nukes a kid. Like, think of it this way. It's so easy to revolutionize people or radicalize people. All right. So say you're out tending crops at the edge of the village. Qin decides to nuke your whole village. Everyone but you is dead. What do you have for options? Your options are somehow yell at him, get his attention, he drops a meteor on you because you're part of the village, you're dead. Or you're like, what do I do? Well, I can't live here anymore. I can't go to the next village, because if I go there, that village dies. If you knew that. Or maybe you go to the next village and that next village dies. Who knows? Or you, go hide there and are like, man, this guy's crazy evil, he killed my whole family. Depends on whether or not, how much you care about the people you're around versus the emperor. He probably cares more about the emperor, but not everyone. Would everyone always go with that? I feel like if your indoctrination is anything less than perfect, which clearly it isn't, because people were reciting poetry because they didn't know it was wrong, because his indoctrination he is less indoctrination and more less into indoctrination and more into ignorance is bliss. So that guy wouldn't know what he did wrong. Go to the next village, maybe spread whatever they were doing, some poems, some music, and then get rocks dropped on him. And it could just happen indefinitely, in theory. You're always causing problems for yourself if you do that, but whatever. Someone will eventually care that you're dropping rocks on their village and killing them, right? Eventually? That's the most generic heroic story, right? Your hero's father gets killed, Star Wars starts with that, right? Luke did not hate the Empire. Luke was ready to join the Imperial Academy and join up with the army, and then they decided to kill his parents, and he's like, Now I want to kill them. And I'm gonna go kill that crazy guy Darth Vader. And joins the rebellion. That was lit. Like, everyone knows the plot of Star Wars, right? No reason to say you wouldn't have the plot of Star Wars in Qin Shi Huang's land, because that's what he does. In fact, you could very well have the plot in the same setting. That's just how it works. Bring an AoE caster. Have I ever not brought the AoE caster? Nero is probably my best caster, period. It's Jin K. Is Jin K gonna kill him? Probably not. If Jin K killed him, that would be weird. Because we have him as a servant, and if we didn't get a servant fight, it wouldn't make sense. So he's probably going to fail. He's probably going to fail in some way. She might shut down his engine and force him to incarnate himself, maybe? Let's see how this goes. Ah. We have, this will be an interesting fight. No battles. Bring an AoE assassin to no battles. I'll try that. Just teasing. Do it. I wasn't planning on going much further. I was planning on... it's kind of... We'll see. We'll see. But I can't resist 0 AP costs. I actually have some other stuff to do, and I kind of want to start Heaven's Field tonight. Gotta stick to my schedule. A strange spirit runs. No, he just doesn't believe he'll die. Probably not, especially since he lived way longer. A personal condemnation. Oh no, he hates us. His personal condemnation. Well, see, he doesn't have the whole picture. It is proper. You literally erased the current history to replace it with your own. Because your history was being pruned. Now, he doesn't know that because he didn't do it. But we're kind of right. I can't blame him for calling you a dum-dum, though. He's kind of right. He's right from his own perspective, but he doesn't have all the information. Out of drivel, you're a spirit and you may consider yourself human. I doubt it's responsibility, but that is also... You're also incorrect, but, you know, whatever. Yes and yes, actually. I feel like it's kind of weird that we don't have an actual debate between any of the characters, and all the characters, like Jin K, MASH, the Master, Da Vinci, and Sherlock, none of them come up with a counter argument to any of the questions posed by the servants in this, by the characters in this Lostbelt. They all kind of just are like, ... Like, why not respond to it and say, oh, I believe this, and this is why I think our world deserves to live, or this is what I think is good about the world. It seems kind of weird. Like, if you wanted to have a philosophical debate about the merits of a world, why not have a discussion? You can do that in written text. I mean, discussions are pretty popular. That's like, I was gonna say Descartes. I think John Locke did some of those. Plato does some of those. Like, it's classic philosophy to have a debate, even if you have one side basically have a counter-argument for everything the other side has, because you're wanting to argue with that side. It still makes the dialogue slightly more interesting if they're arguing about something. You can even let Qin Shi Huang outwit everyone with his dialogue to make it sound like maybe he's right, and they're just moving on. They're just moving forwards because they don't know what else to do. I'm okay with that. I just feel like they could respond, even if it's a half-baked answer where they're like, I disagree with you. Like, you don't even need a real argument. You can just be like, I disagree with what you said because I value people or something more. You don't even need a real argument. You can just say, that's not how I value things, and that's how you evaluate things. Even that would be better than just sitting there silently listening to him. Because it doesn't make him sound smart. It makes you sound stupid. Because you don't really have a belief or an opinion on something in the world that's very relevant to the scenario. It also makes the dialogue way shorter. So maybe that's why they didn't have them respond? I don't know. Hey look, she's finally provided counter-arguments. Forget. I mean, Jinkei's finally got a response. I was literally whining about like 5 friggin' chapters of people not answering, and she's like, "I have a cell phone. Eat a dick," and then actually provides a fairly logical argument. This is a good argument. It's not the argument I would have made, but it's a good argument. I look at things from a different angle than Jinkei does. That's cool. But I like her argument. That's cool. Jinkei and Spartacus having the best dialogue is not what I expected in this. I mean, Qin Shi Huang's also pretty good, but what the heck? Yeah. This is a dialogue. It has examples. We've had a lot of arguments from the other side. We get a debate, an answer in the form of Jinkei. That's very well thought out. This is actually very good. I'm loving this. It's not even something to laugh or cry. This is actually just a very good read. Ha ha ha. He didn't think computer virus. Good one. Stating facts, also having a plan. Jinkei. Why is Jinkei so based in this singularity? I don't understand. And here he is. Oops. I mean, I did call it early. There's no way she kills him because he's a boss. We have to be the ones to fight him because he's a servant. It's one of the issues with being behind, even if you don't know the plot. I know that there's a Qin Shi Huang servant and model, so she can never kill him because we have to fight him. If we were going in blind, which, given how many delays Japan has had with their release schedule, hopefully we actually get like a little bit caught up in a year because we keep a regular release schedule when they were slowed down. Yeah, I knew he is a servant, so I know that he can't be killed before this. Like, the other people are fine because they're bosses and you encounter them in the story. He didn't have a model or a sprite, but I knew he had a... I know he has a sprite and that he's a servant in game, so he has to be a boss or a character we encounter at some point. Oh well. Alright. This is Robots and Imperial Guard, probably. I'm betting it's Robots and Imperial Guard and not What's-His-Face. But I'm going to call it for now, as I have some stuff to take care of before we start playing some Heaven's Field tonight. And I can't be on all night. It's been nice hanging out with you guys. I'm going to have to go for a while. I need about an hour-ish. I gotta make dinner, set up for Heaven's Field, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching, though. I think we're basically near the end. We probably have 15 and 16 left. I'm guessing the thing's gonna be... If it's not over at the end of 16, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'll do, but I'm guessing that I'm gonna clear out 15 and 16 next stream of this. I'll even use apples to make sure we get through it. Unless I like die 20 times. Yeah, it's been fun hanging out, man. Have a great evening. I'll see you around.